fuck with all this people running around? I heard some shit happen, something went down over by the... Yo, what happened, son?
This one kid got knocked out. Saw fucked up like a boxed house. Locked doors, windows blocked out. One punch, these tough images cropped out. Flip the kill switch, and all that chill shit, they knocked out. These dudes got a short fuse like a thought blouse. Locked in, deaf to them stop shouts. Niggas the type to shoot first, all questions crossed out. Now little buddy slept bloody than snot mouth.
Where was y'all at, though?
Right on the corner by the old food truck, cold. They took his chains and boots off, socks out. Head hit like face first, blood on his stained shirt. His wallet whipped out, that's pay dirt. And quickly picked up by the same perk. People's phones out, now they filming in frame bursts. Whole scene sucks, but it's way worse. Little kids watching, now they cursed. Cycles that we live in, it's absurd, I'm saying.
Every day, just another day. Every single day, just another day. Every day, every single day, just another day.
Then a flare spark, light up, right there. Light up, right there.
You lucky you didn't hear what I just said. You're lucky. My goodness, I've been away for 4 months. What in the hell is going on? I was planning on starting this with going, a return of the queen. Yes, I did. But you guys don't deserve that. What has been happening? My goodness, I look back. I've been looking back through just to like see, where did I leave you? What happened? Because obviously I must have done something to make you guys just go so crazy, right? You didn't have the queen directing you, for telling you exactly what to fucking do, what to focus on for a couple of minutes, and you just go crazy, right? That's what it is. Wild. Wild. Oof. I saw the last time I was here was Welcome to Sheba Sunday. I'm not amused. Yeah, last time was late August. I'd, gone to the Seychelles. I I think I'd already had, I'd done another stand-up set. I'd done the sex party stand-up set. And then I had just gone to an open mic. And then September came about, and like for me, lots of change, lots of fucking change. Yeah, I had the beginning of a friend breakup of someone that I'd known for the past couple of years, and it just had me being like, whoa, what's happening? What? It was very out of the blue. Then I had another friend who came to town, and like they were just able to like make me see like, wait, does this other person even like you? Which is totally something that Sheba says to other people. I'm the one who's supposed to be able to see all the things, and it was just very strange to find myself like in need of my own advice, and like very interesting. So we actually also went to this really cool flea market, which I remember like, I like flea markets. I like seeing it as an opportunity to be like, what do you want to do, Sheebs? Go look around, explore, find what you like. I found some great finds, by the way. I saw this woman who was selling waist beads. And like, I was just drawn to them. And the last time I'd gotten waist beads, I'd like bought them online from some site that like some person had like, recommended to me. I remember in choosing the waist beads last time, I was like, whatever you want, surprise me. But this time I was like, I'm a different person. Many times over. That was years ago. Also, I like Incredible Hulked out of those waist beads years ago. I, saw some. I was drawn to like a bunch of shades of green for some reason, and like one strand of like pink. The woman who's runs the place, who made the waist beads, she's there and she is helping other customers and things. But she's really cool. She's like around my age, maybe a little bit older, but like just in her element, and she's got all of these handmade salves and body stuff, body butters, and these waist beads too. And she obviously has a bunch of repeat customers. There are these people that like come by and are like, "Hey, oh my gosh!" And she hugs them. It's so beautiful. Anyway, she gets to me because these beads, you pick the colors and then she like wraps them around you, like hand measures them and cuts them. And like as she's like wrapping me around, she's just like, I got to tell you something. Like something about your energy is just like really something powerful. And like, sometimes I'm very like, okay, sure. I'm already going to buy these things. You don't have to sell me on anything else. But like something about it, I was like, I think I'm supposed to listen to this person, and she was telling me that like, I'm in a time of great transition and that like something big is coming and that I should be ready, and that like this transition, this taking me to like the next level, I'm gonna have to shed relationships, and it will be like surprising, but also not like, it won't be a big thing. They'll just kind of like fall off. And so when things happen, just be ready. And it's pushing me into my next level. This strange woman, as I'm like spinning in a circle as she's like wrapping these beads around my waist in the middle of a flea market. I was like, okay. But also actually I was very like, please tell me more. Very interesting. Anyway, then I started, let me go Sheba Small over here to my Instagram. This is where I left you off. I noticed this is where we last were. This was, of course, from me and Billy going to Montreal. And in September, I noticed like I only posted like 4 or 5 times in 2023. I don't know why. I was just really anxious about posting. I was like anxious about like just like doing things. I don't know. And then September hit and I was like, on that day that I had the weird thing with my friend, I had kind of thought to like, I was like, I want to start posting every day. I want to challenge myself to that. So I started, like I had done this thing. I bought this freaking kiddie pool like 3 years ago when we first moved into this house. And I always had a dream of setting it up in the backyard, doing a cute little photo shoot, and just like chilling, have our own little backyard pool, Finally did it and posted some things. I got pink eye, like randomly, and like I learned I'm allergic to penicillin, I think, or something. Whatever the thing they gave me, antibiotic, whatever the antibiotic they gave me, I got this like rash. And if you know me, your girl's skin is flawless. The queen's skin is like truly like, Billy, give them a adjective or a comparison about like my skin to like help them, understand. So that when I like had this like rash all over my body, I was just like, I'm a monster. What is this? And it was just very like interesting. I'm just not used to reacting. Like I'm never sick. So having pink eye, having this other reaction, like I had just gotten sick. It was wild. For my nieces, it was just like, what the heck? Oh my gosh, a lot of things going on, Sheebs. Anyway, I go to New York with my family. That's where the, friend breakup. And I did it. I was posting like every day and I was really proud of myself. You know, I was like really doing it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you. Billy coming through with the language. Flawless skin, like a smooth, meaty bathtub. Literally, he's like that bathtub analogy. That was something he said like before we were married. Like it's like a bathtub. I think he means like porcelain in its smoothness and like perfection. I get it. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I am just like the prototype maybe for all human like humans. Full stop. No, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I'm posting. She's like, you know, she's living her life. She starts doing outfits of the day because look how cute she is. Wore that to that's the one I wore to the flea market to get those door beads. Perfect. I'm just like, I was just really embracing being like a muse and like whatever kind of like came naturally to me, you know? It's really interesting. Anyway, Billy's birthday, October 5th. So amazing. I wrote such a good thing about this. You know, of all the great things we did. I ended it with loving this buddy cop rom-com Cinderella-ass story lives of ours. Can't wait to see what happens next. October 5th. Then wouldn't you know it. Oh, also this cute one. Oh, look at him with the girls. Such a good uncle. Oh, so lucky. Those girls and the world. Anyway, then some of you may know, hopefully, you know, I know when I watch this back and when lots of people watch this back for years to come, they're going to be like, wow, yeah, I know what happened after October 5th, October 7th. Then you'll see this is, when did I post this? October 8th. Look, Sheba wearing a Palestinian flag sweatsuit that I had for months. I was looking back and I was like, man, I done been talking about this. And I didn't realize it was like as deep as it was. I didn't realize it was as big a thing. I was like, okay, there's injustice places. And this is, you know, when I learned about it a couple years ago, Palestine, I was like, wait, I'm sorry, these people are stealing their houses? What the fuck? That's not cool. And I followed this place at Pally Roots. And I saw they had one of these sweatsuits, but like they sold out in like a couple of days. And so I put myself on a like mailing list, a wait list. They did another run and I got it. So it was great. And then, you know, like I got it. It came, I think in the summer, in the early summer. So, and like, it's actually very warm sweatsuit. And you know, didn't really have a occasion to wear it so much until October fucking 7th. And I saw that one of the accounts I follow, Woke Scientist, who I was, you know, following for lots of things, she posted about Palestinians breaking out of their concentration camp via, you know, what do you call those? Hang gliders or whatever? Parasails? I don't know. And and bulldozers. I was like, yes, oh my gosh. And so I was posting to my stories about that. And, you know, as I'm posting, I get a message from one of my old roommates from Goucher. Like we went to Goucher together, and then when we graduated, we roomed together for a year, and then she went to go to law school in California. She only did it a year, and then she went to do other things. But anyway, point is, lived with her for a year. We remained friends. You know, when she moved back to Baltimore, we were friends. You know, and she messages me, and she says, "Hey, Sheebs, you know, you're, I love you, but you're really hurting your Jewish friends right now." And I was like, what? Because I was like, because I'd actually posted about Palestine before, and I'd posted about like, the stealing their homes, and then about, I'd asked like a question like, hey, how come we don't just give the Palestinians a Iron Dome, so they could at least, so it wasn't just like one side with an Iron Dome, like the other side also had that. And no one really engaged with it. Two people engaged with it, my two women friends, on the side of the Palestinians, kind of. And no one else did. So imagine my surprise to learn on October 7th that a lot of people actually do know about the issue. I kind of figured, I was like, okay, I guess no one really knows. It's over there. It's not, no one really has a connection to it. Who knew that a lot of people actually do have a connection to it, but they have the connection on the side of the people who are stealing Palestinians' homes and keeping them in a concentration camp. And like, I was like, I told my friend, I was like, I guess I get that, but the Palestinians need our support right now. They're breaking out of a concentration camp. So they, I was like, girl, what? Okay. And then like, oh my God, that was the start of what the heck? I didn't realize there were so many people that were okay with apartheid and people being in concentration camps and people, being treated like they were the victims in Nazi Germany, as long as they get to be the Nazis, as long as they get to be the people running the apartheid, as long as they get to be the people running the concentration camp. And that like lots of people are like, I don't know, they don't ever want the people to get out of the concentration camp. Like, I was so surprised to see how many like random white women from Goucher like came into my DMs to try to like, to tell me all about how like, you don't know what's going on, Sheba. Like you're just falling for anything. Like you're supporting, they would send me these like, these things about, all the raping that Hamas is going to do. Sorry, that's probably going to get me, I don't know, whatever. No, it was ridiculous. They were like about what these terrorists plan to do to Jewish women, Jewish people. And I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. Like, what are you talking about? They were in a concentration camp, and you think the first thing they did was waste time raping and mutilating people? That doesn't sound like something I would do. So it surprises me that someone else would do it, but like I mean, I obviously am someone who is like what? Don't like kidnap children and steal homes and you gotta like speak up about these things. And at first I was really confused. So I was like, let me make sure but like one of my good friends, a Jewish woman who got me, who taught me about Palestine several years ago. I was like, wait, what? I didn't realize there were so many people who were like okay with it, who like really believe all of the things they've been told about Muslims and particularly Palestinians, and how long it's been going on, and how like ingrained that is in a lot of like government and media. I was so surprised. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. But it was great because it like gave me the opportunity to learn more about everything, the world. And I'm certainly someone who when someone's like, this is a complicated thing, I love that. I love going deep, Scorpio sun, Cancer moon, Leo rising. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm an attorney. I'm a comedian. I'm good at saying the thing, and so I was like, well, if this is complicated, let me look a little bit more. Y'all, so not complicated. Crazy. Like, uncomfortably uncomplicated. So I started to like realize my friend like has a lot of white supremacist views and ideas that she doesn't even bring them front of mind. And like other random people like from Goucher who never spoke to me before, like have since in the past 2 months like come into my DMs to like tell me about like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, Sheba, and you are spreading hate, and you like, you know, you are, you know, just falling for, you've been brainwashed. I'm like, me? How? Did someone give me free citizenship to an apartheid state in exchange for, like swallowing a bunch of obvious propaganda? When would I have done that? So it was just like, I was like, okay, Nelson Mandela is pretty clear about whose side he's on, the Palestinians. Desmond Tutu, very clear, you know? And I started to realize like, oh my God, wait, no. Are we just like being like gaslit? It was crazy. And then my friend who has, my former friend, let me tell you, because I feel so bad for this girl. I'm talking about her a lot too, because when you know it, this morning, I thought she had blocked me because after, you know, a couple of days of me just being like, girl, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, the Palestinians are in the right. They're going to be free. This is what, you know, getting free looks like. It's ugly. And like, you don't want to be on the side of the people who are trying to keep them in a concentration camp. Like, I don't know what to tell you about that. You know, this is I just, you know, anyway, she messaged me today still about, it was like a thing that Rabbi Shmuley has posted. I don't know if you've like seen this guy, but he's this, guy who is just like a pro at Hasbara. I want everyone to look that up, by the way. It's wild. I've just learned so much about how the power of language, the power of storytelling, the power of fear. And also about like, I don't know, the power of using your voice and going against the crowd and doing what you think is right despite what, you know, other people tell you to do, you know? Yeah, just wild. Anyway, like the first days after she connects you on the day you start Sheba Sunday back. I know! On the day that I like plan to start Sheba Sunday, and I don't think I put an advertisement about it at all. I didn't say anything. I thought she'd blocked me actually because, you know, after like a couple of days of me just giving her straight reasonable fact, you know, I'm a reasonable bitch. Like I was just giving her like the facts that I spend all of my day, I get paid 6 figures by the government to, you know, parse through a historical record, weigh sources, you know, like understand language and how, you know, like, I don't know. I was just like, this is very easy for me. It's very easy for me to see what's going on. But, you know, like my friend doesn't have the same training as me, doesn't have the same, you know, like background as I did. So she, when she finally like runs out of steam, because I'm just like, girl, you're obviously brainwashed, and you know, you have a lot of white supremacist, not just ideas, but the tactics you're using, the manipulative tactics are like very obviously like something you've learned from white men, you know, as a whole. Anyway, she blocks me, and then she slides into Billy's DMs. They've never spoken before, but she finds him on Facebook, slides into his DM, starts trying to convince him. And like Billy, also a very reasonable person, and like has a different slant on it than I do. Mine is more maybe like legal and language and, you know, culture, I don't know, emotional. And Billy's is more media and philosophy and political history, activism. Like he has that kind of slant. And so she goes through a day or two of trying to convince Billy, and we're just like, I'm sorry, we're too smart, like, and we're When have we ever been wrong on anything? You can't say it. You can't say a time. We're always right. Like, we're always on the right side of history. Like, okay. So Hasbara has no direct English translation, but roughly means explaining. It's a communicative strategy that seeks to explain actions, whether or not they are justified. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what that is. And that's what I learned, that there was a word for what I was seeing, because there was a lot of similarities in the various tactics that different people used, both from my former friend to random people, you know, on the internet, to random people from Goucher, to other people I know. Like, I was like, why do I keep hearing the same argument and rhetorical tactics? Wait a minute, I think something's going on. And like, so once I realized they were just spewing bullshit, and it's like Donald Trump sometimes does it. It's called like a Gibbs Gallup. Is that it? Gish Gallup? Let me see. Sorry. It's like a rhetorical style. Gish Gallup. God, I'm so freaking smart. That's another thing. Such a genius. Gish Gallup. A rhetorical technique in which a person in a debate attempts to overwhelm their opponent by providing an excessive number of arguments with no regard for the accuracy or the strength of those arguments. I mean, like, I recognized it with Donald Trump, and I think a lot of, some of us, I guess, maybe did, but I saw regular people employing this now. And, you know, Billy will know this, like, I'm very good at, like, knocking down arguments. I'm a reasonable bitch. I'm very good at sensing patterns and recognizing them and being able to reason in the same way and to knock them down. And like, I'm gonna take my time too. I don't give in to a false sense of urgency that, like, you know, because a lot of those people would be like, you know, you tell me this. You owe me that. I'm like, what is happening right now? Who are all these white people sailing into my DMs like the colonizers they claim they are not, to demand that I have to take up less space? I have to make them feel a little bit more comfortable in like my space, and that like I'm ignorant? Girl, come on. If you know anything about Sheba, your girl is petty. So I'm like, you know, I might have just, I don't know. I probably would have still been doing what I'm doing, but like, I have to accept that I'm a person who like has pride in myself, and I'm like, what the hell? Wait a minute. I'm like a good person. I'm trying to help, and like, I was at first, you know, trying to just like unpack all of their arguments, but Billy says the power of words, narrative propaganda, skills of scoring points in argumentation. Yes. And so, yeah, this former friend, she comes in mine, blocks me because I'm too reasonable, blocks Billy because he's too reasonable, and comes away with this idea that, like, she's like, oh, sorry, you guys have, like, been taken in by Nazi propaganda. Girl, what are you talking? Are there really this many people who thought that, like, the problem with the Nazis was that they were Christians and not that they were, like, running an apartheid state and, like, violently enforcing, you know, segregation and extrajudicial killings and forcing people into a ghetto and concentration camp? That we didn't think that was why the Nazis were bad. We thought it was because they were Christians doing it to Jewish people. I asked that because a lot of people like kept telling me that, like, you know, the reason I'm upset is not because of the actions of the IOF and the settlers in that colony. It's that they happen to be Jewish. Like, just so many crazy things. That, like, another crazy thing, like, this idea, like, I see the storytelling, the narrative propaganda, this idea that, like, you know, Jewish people can't be colonizers because they're indigenous to the land. And then there's a bunch of funny math about how it is. And when I point out, like, I mean, I guess I'm indigenous to Africa, right? But I can't go back now and kick Juliette de Baun, the woman who, the white woman who we stayed with in Africa. Am I allowed to kick her out of her home and murder her if she tries to come back? But if I did do that, I would have to accept that I'm a colonizer, right? And like that the refusal to accept like the like demand that like we have endless empathy for their perspective and their story that they've been told, and I can't like be like, well, that's exactly what a Nazi did do and would do. That is what a colonizer would do, certainly. And this is literally the definition of settler colonialism. And like, this is very strange now and surreal to be like, wow, this is what like all of our ancestors probably went through. Like a bunch of people like really trying to sell everyone the story that they are good and godly and peace-loving people who are just trying to protect their children and don't want to, but like actually they're just like obviously stealing land and terrorizing people off of their land. The Battle of Wounded Knee, which I learned was a battle of Wounded Knee, it's a massacre. It's a very one-sided double crossing that was only 130 years ago. A bunch of settlers, militia, an armed militia, the 7th freaking Cavalry, was like, they, first of all, killed all the bison in the country because they understood that like the natives, the Lakota, depended on that as their livelihood. And so they forced the natives to depend on the European settlers for sustenance. And then they kept forcing them into less and less land. They disarmed them. They were like, we're going to kill you if you don't give us your arms. And so in the process of that, they just ended up massacring hundreds of Lakota men, women, children. And like, so it's been so strange to see like, like white people fantasizing about what they and their ancestors have done to the colonized people, like consistently. And like even the people who were like, oh well, not everyone owns slaves, like yeah, but you guys were like okay with segregation. You guys weren't fighting against segregation, right? You guys were like, all right, fine, don't enslave them, but like I better get a job over them. Like, oof. There's a lot of, and I've just learned so much about Israeli culture, how racist it is, how it's like, you know, it was literally founded on ethnic cleansing and white supremacy and like racial purity. It's just a recipe for something that history will look at as like the Nazis. And like, I feel so bad for my friend too, because like I'm reading the comments on this thing she tagged me on, which was again a debunked thing from a propagandist, Rabbi Shmuley, Hasbara expert, Gish Gallup expert, about how this man who allegedly works for the rave, setup committee, he saw a woman who looked like she had been sexually mutilated. Now, I know not everyone is an attorney, so you don't know what like the standards of evidence are, but that is some hearsay bullshit that would not fucking count, especially then when Israel, without doing any autopsies, just buries these people. Like, sorry, you know, like, we're not dumb. And like, I'm just so like, just embarrassed that so many people are that dumb. So many people are like, yeah, a bunch of Arab terrorists raped a bunch of Jewish people and ruined their shot at liberation by just being savages who hate Jews. I'm like, what? Did that even make sense? Come on. And you know what's even worse about this girl that messaged me today? Her father is half Cherokee or something, half Native American. And so this girl who is like white skin, alabaster skin, red hair, bright red, like Irish looking red hair, got into Goucher College on a minority scholarship, not based on her Jewish indigenous heritage to Palestine, but on her quarter 16th Native American heritage. Like, that's such a colonizer thing to do. Kinda be like from Northern Virginia, a more well off than people on reservations are, and to still like, I don't know, use that, being indigenous when you want to be, having access to whiteness when you want, is just like ridiculous. And to see all these people from Goucher, which was like 40% Jewish, trying to say that like Black people and Jewish people have faced the same discrimination, and so we have to stick together, i.e. I, the Black woman, have to agree with the people who happen to be Jewish, who are very, okay with an apartheid state. Like, that's the way to be unified and to fight white supremacy. I'm just like, what is happening? Why are these people like bullshitting? Anyway, so crazy. I was like, what was going on last year? Because this time next year, it's going to be, there will have been a presidential election, probably, who knows, and we currently have, we're just seeing like the Wizard of Oz. We're seeing behind the curtain, and it's just a bunch of old, racist, genocidal white men who always solve their problems by separating people, like literally building a physical wall and murdering and like assailing anyone who questions it. And it's like, what? Are we just supposed to do this in perpetuity? And I'm supposed to bring more children into this thing? They're supposed to grow up to be the implementers of this terrible system? Nay. So, anyway, I've been coming back to this, my vision board from last year. My 6th episode of Sheba Sunday was a New Year's episode, and I hadn't watched it until yesterday. I hadn't rewatched it. I have a thing about like rewatching my things. It's like I have so much anxiety. I'm just like, it's gonna be bad. I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna like judge it. Now I realize I learned from Billy, who watches his stuff and like gains new stuff from it, as I do when I like listen to his stuff over. I'm like, why am I not convinced of my own genius and like wisdom? What if these things are just for me? It's literally called Sheba Sunday, so this actually is all for me. So I need to just like use this to help. Okay, so this was my 2023 vision board, and okay, I just want you to see right here. We've got Bella Hadid, a Palestinian woman. We have Natasha Lyonne, a Jewish woman. I put feel free, not to say that I foretold the liberation of the Palestinians and thus all of us, but kind of interesting. I rested a lot more, there's things that say like start with self-love. I tried to do that a lot. I tried to be like, what does Sheba want? I know what all these other people are asking me to do, but like, what do I feel like doing? And like, I have right here, no, it's been so important, like actually. And it made me, I was reminded of my mother always would tell me that when I was in kindergarten, my teacher like had a meeting with her, and she was like, sometimes when Sheba, when the other kids are doing something, they were playing some sort of game, and Sheba doesn't want to play, she just like goes and plays by herself and like does her thing. And like my mom tells me that story, like she's like, you've always marched to the beat of your own drum, and like that's true. Actually, I'm realizing that, like, you're right, that has always been me. And I'm trying, so for 2024, like I'm trying to bring more of that. The era of people pleasing is over. The era of Sheba pleasing has begun. And that's gonna look really beautiful to me, and probably everyone's gonna benefit from it, but like what I'm worried about is if it pleases me, and so like I'm excited to like get to know myself more. Like that woman I met at the flea market, her name is Ekua. which is I want to say Yoruba for Wednesday, the day on which she was born. And anyway, she just like, she opened my eyes kind of to kind of be ready for a great upheaval that was necessary. And I'm like, oh my God, who am I that I need like tens of thousands of Palestinians to be murdered and even more traumatized and brutally slaughtered in order for me to like figure my shit out. You know, I know that's not what's going on, but like, wild. Oh my God, it's wild what we've been doing to the Palestinians for decades. Yeah, like by now, whenever people are like rewatching this back, I know you guys are like horrified of what we've allowed ourselves to believe to be true. Like, we really wanted to believe that these Arab countries were just full of like ignorant, violent, oppressive, backwards savages who just like hate us for our freedom and hate women. And now I'm like, maybe they're just like kind of clinging to like any semblance of their traditions and their culture that hasn't been ripped from them and bombed to fuck, you know. Anyway, I just like came back to this vision board many times this year. There's like, I don't have anything to hide. I don't have anything to hide. People are more invested in my story now. Room to grow. You know, she's so empowering, so sexy. Ugh. All these things. Dare to do differently is what that says too. These are all just like, and like make a scene is one of those too. It kind of like helped reorient me when I was like, how should I handle this? You know, should I do what many people ask, which is to like, don't handle it. Don't talk about it. You know, we don't want to, no, come on. Let's just like not talk about the thing. And like, I have always been someone, little Sheba would be like, okay, no. And so like, big Sheba got to. I'm the most Sheba I've ever been. So, you know, I want to keep in 2024. I'm gonna be, I'll save that for the end actually. I want to use these. Do you guys notice my new color scheme? It's more of a blue greeny kind of, that feels like the vibe for me these days. Like, you know, I'm wearing green, like these door beads, love door beads by the way. These waist beads, like I don't know why, but I've just like been trying to look more into my intuition, and like green keeps coming up to me. Also, you see it like all throughout here too. Like, I love the idea of greenery and life. I love the idea of like, you know, even if like, I think water represents like the unknown and like life and healing and all these things. And I like the idea of like dancing in it and being like, I'm good. Dancing in it, healing in it, bathing in it, resting in it. Like, just the things we're supposed to fear, using those as like tools to keep me safe. So, you know, yeah, let me do some, let me go to this crystal ball. Ooh, we remember this? Yes, so I actually see things very clearly now. Like clearer than I've ever seen them. Oh, I have this beautiful new mirror. I think that's been helpful. I've just been drawing my things to me. In September, I put in an order for this like beautiful full length kind of mirror, floor mirror. And it came like in December. And I was like, Sheba from September, brilliant. And so, yeah, I obviously need to, you know, when I put more, you know, trust into me and what I've got, like what I put out there, what I think to do, the better. Like, the more I resist, the more I doubt myself, the more I second guess, and I'm like, all these other people are probably right. I should do it this way. I should do it their way. Absolutely not. I see what y'all do. I see what the hell y'all think to do, and it's bad. Your lives are tragic. This idea of like this being like a movie, I think of that a lot, and like, think some people are just like, not even like background people in the movie, like pointing at Spider-Man. Like some people are people watching the background actors, watching the heroes and villains do the things. And I'm just like, what? Obviously, you know, I'm Batman. Or at least like Jeff Goldblum, who's like, I don't know, guys, I think this is gonna happen and we should listen. And no one does. But I'm just a heartthrob, you know, for decades. I don't know. Anyway, so what I see clearly is that Palestine will be free. It will free us all. I don't see the settler colony of Israel lasting another 5 years. I really see even less than that. I didn't want to alarm anyone, but you know, you had I don't want to say a good 75 years, a good run, because it was quite violent. It you know, resulted in a lot of bad stuff. You know that like during apartheid South Africa, the Israeli military like provided, like broke the arms embargo against the white apartheid South African government and provided them with military grade weapons to better keep the black South Africans subjugated. And like, that isn't like weird, guys. Like come on, that's obviously not gonna look good very, very soon. So I just see people who are clinging to the old narratives gonna have a really rough 2024, baby. It's gonna be tough, but you know, it's gonna be difficult in different ways for all of us. So I'm like, you know, I just gotta advise to maybe get it together sooner rather than later, because like, I am right, Billy's right, the Palestinians are correct. This is a black and white issue on this one. The Palestinians are right. And like all of these empires and systems that we've been taught to hallow and respect and to look to save us, like the truth is being revealed. The truth will prevail. And like all of these systems are going to fall. And I know there's like a scary Terry, like, oh, like you could run, but you can't hide. Oh, it's going to be really violent, really terrible. And like, it's not worth it, but it's going to be easier than we think. It's going to be more fun than we think. And it's going to like feel right. We're going to be like, oh, right. The way we were doing it was like so crazy. So like, yeah, let's not do that anymore. And so, yeah, like all these things are going to fall. So anyone who's like, you know, we're taught to be very supportive of power and to protective of it, of the systems and people in these positions of power and prestige. And like, that's going to be shaken up. You know, they're just so obviously kind of a paper tiger, I've heard a lot of. And that's what it is. It's just people telling a story about how big and strong they are, but really they're wearing a Spider-Man suit, you know? Like, what's his name? Who's the kid with Zendaya? Like, that kid, like, they're not really like buff and strong and like good at doing and like saving the day. They're performing. And we're just seeing how many, like, of these things are actually just performances and not really what we've been told to think they are. Like, the media, you know, Billy been telling you. We done been telling you. So, like, anyone who's acted all brand new, like, you know, like, what? You know. And, like, when we look back and watch this again, you're going to be like, oh, right, they have always been telling us. Like, this is just the natural continuation of what we've been saying, and we're only going to get better at articulating our points, synthesizing relevant information, and like getting it out there. So like, you know, I had a thing with this other another white woman who has been tasked with being a Middle East correspondent for, decades in these like legacy mainstream media organizations. She's so mad. She's so mad that I, in my free time for funsies, did more peacemaking, did more clarifying, fostered more understanding than she has in 25 years. Than she's been paid, much more than I in order to do this specific thing, make a complicated issue understandable. I really have challenged whether or not that's actually what she was doing for the past couple of decades. Maybe she wasn't actually tasked with making things understandable. Maybe she was tasked with keeping up the farce. Oh my God, we watched freaking Truman Show. Y'all, why is everyone so committed to the bit? We're on to it. We're gonna find out. We're gonna figure out this is a big studio or something or whatever's going on. So, might as well be that hot girl who speaks truth to power. You probably have to watch Truman Show again for that to, but anyway, it's just really cool to see that I'm a person who I don't scare easy like the rest of y'all. So it's easy. I know that I prevail, and the people that I'm good at drawing positive attention to myself, and the people whom I cast my attention on are also going to fare very well. So yeah, let's go to so those are my visions. Let's go to final thoughts. My goodness. It's how do you sum up all the wisdom in the universe? No, just kidding. It'll be easy for me to do that. I'm just gonna have to be. It's great. So yeah, 2023. Wow, I literally never expected this year. It was so I learned so much about myself and the world. And yeah, it's gonna be a bumpy ride, but so that's fun. We love that. We love a challenge. We love a thrill. We're a bunch of thrill seekers. So, maybe bring that energy into it. Some curiosity, some hope. I want to write down more of my what do you call those? Affirmations for the new year. Because wow, my last ones really came through. So I'm going to do a lot of Sheba pleasing this year. I'm going to do more, embracing being incomprehensible. I'm going to relish in how good I am at resisting other people's shit. I want to get good at disappointing people, at just being myself and forcing the world to accept that. And I know they're gonna love me. Yeah. So we have nothing to hide. We got to do everything different. It's gonna be kind of scary, but we got it. It's good. I also think I noticed me and Billy sometimes we try to make things that don't matter kind of matter. That's probably what we've all learned. White supremacy teaches us, about this artificial urgency. Everyone's always rushing and, we gotta get this and we got a deadline and gotta blah, but I think that's made up. And And, you know, in watching back my other Sheba Sundays, last year Sheba also knew that this shit was all made up. And, you know, these past 4 months have shown me, like, that even more clearly. Just like, these old men are making this up. And they're doing it in a way that they come out on top. And, like, they really don't care who they have to destroy in order to maintain that. And, like, just, we don't have to do it that way. We can, obviously. Humans are very adaptable, very good at believing whatever the hell somebody tells them. Very good at, you know, living your life based on your fears. But if you don't want that, we could just, like, not do it. we could just not do that. So, like, let's consider it. Let's consider it. Yeah, and so 2024, I'm gonna be loud. I'm gonna be, like, unconcerned in the same way that I see, you know, people like Candace Owens, Donald Trump, to like Palestinian journalists, Palestinian people, to, like, Angela Davis, Nelson Mandela, to just, like, everyone, to children, you know, just saying what is their experience of the world and accepting that, like, they're gonna be good. Kissinger died. That man who's like 100, like, ordered the murders of millions of people who we're just kind of taught to think aren't us. And, like, I'm just, like, so aware of how I'm all there is, and that, like, I could murder millions of people and still die safe, loved, and celebrated of old age, you know, like, and a couple of people online, or a lot of people online or in these other spaces where they don't have access to me, can be mad about it, can hate me, and I'm gonna be fine. So, like, it's very encouraging that, like, I'm, you know, I have no desires to kill anyone or order the killings of anyone. So why would I be afraid that people aren't going to love me, that people aren't going to accept me, and not just accept me, revere me, you know? I'm wearing my keffiyeh. You'll be seeing this a lot more. Oh, I got these beautiful nails. I've been, for the past 3 nails, I've been doing Palestine inspired. So these are actually keffiyeh inspired nails right here. So a keffiyeh, it is these different patterns. So this one represents the fishnets. Palestine, like, known for their seafood and fishing, but the occupation, the colonizers, like, don't let them go past, you know, like, go to the shallow waters, trying to just, like, starve and, like, kill these people. Such bullshit. Also on that, these are olive leaves, because the colonizers dig up these, like, 1,000-year-old olive trees so that they can, you know, prevent Palestinians from forming a state, from sustaining themselves. It's giving Massacre of Wounded Knee. It's very, like, we are going to kill all these bison. We are going to dig up and burn your orchards. We are going to make you, like, we're going to create a narrative where you are this, like, savage who can't support yourself, and we came to civilize you and brought food and things. And it's like, oh my God, these white people are playing. These white people are playing in our faces. So anyway, that's that thing. And then this represents the trade routes that went through Palestine. So it is a rich, diverse freaking history that, you know, lots of people of all different races and ethnicities and religions lived peacefully until the Europeans brought their bullshit, as they do. But, you know, it seems like I'm very, like, we're on to them now. We've got the radio back. We're gonna be okay. But the colonizer sympathizers, it's gonna be rough. But well, they'll figure it out, right? All right. So, I mean, honestly, do you deserve it? I like to end these with having you bring your forehead and putting your forehead against your phone or your screen. You don't deserve this, but I'm giving you, you know, it's a mitzvah. I love you. Do some grief work, please, okay? Do some healing work. Like, we're gonna need everyone to get on their healing journey, okay? Yeah. We got this, okay? Everything is made up. We know this. Everything is made up. So, yeah. Don't take it too seriously. I'll see you soon. See you next week. We're back, baby. Your queen is back. So, you guys gonna listen this time? We'll see. Hard-headed. Take y'all a long time to learn a lesson. That's fine. That's okay. All right. It's all made up. Love you. See you soon. Bye.